How's it going, gamers? Chongo here, and today I've got a gameplay commentary for you guys. The gameplay is of State of Decay on the PC, and today's commentary is just going to be about me talking about my first impressions with the game so far, so let's get into it. So as some of you probably know, State of Decay was released on the Xbox Live Marketplace a couple of months ago, but it took a while for them to port it over to PC, so I'm really happy to actually get to play it on PC. Even though I did have an Xbox 360, I just didn't really want to play it on that. I'd prefer to wait for the PC version, even though this version you still need the Xbox 360 controller to work because they haven't mapped the keyboard parts yet. They're going to add that in later, but it's on Steam Early Access for $20, so I would recommend this game if you, I don't know, like zombie games and want to play something a little bit different than all the other zombie games out there. But as I said, remember, you're going to need an Xbox controller, plus it is on Early Access, so there are some glitchy things and some frame rate problems from time to time. So the reason I've been looking forward to this game for a while is because I've been following the development for this game for a long time. I mean, I heard this game ages ago, like I'm talking maybe 3 years, all the way back before it was even called State of Decay, back when it was called Class 3, I believe. And I just thought it sounded really cool, the whole concept of a zombie game that isn't really just like, oh, there's a zombie, go kill it. It's more about surviving and building up, you know, survivors in a camp and that kind of thing, which other zombie games don't seem to be looking into. I mean, I've played DayZ as well as, you know, Left 4 Dead and stuff like that, but I always found those games weren't really what I was looking for in a zombie game, and it's getting a little bit old with the just shoot a zombie, get points sort of thing. It's much better to have a whole system where it's about survival, and I suppose people could argue with DayZ, it is, you know, how it would actually happen in a zombie apocalypse. However, I just don't really like that whole concept of play for 20 minutes or whatever and get shot in the head because someone wanted to steal your beans. I don't really like that whole concept. I'd prefer to, you know, work together in a group of survivors or this single player experience, which is State of Decay, and try and survive as long as possible. Now, this game does have permadeath, so this means that your main character can die. So it's not just about, you know, I'm invincible, if I die I'm going to respawn. If you die, your character no longer exists in the game and you become another character. So you can, you know, go and play these other characters, so your whole camp, you can pretty much be anyone in the camp. So that's pretty cool. I think that, you know, you're a little bit more worried about dying in this game as opposed to other games when you do respawn, because, you know, you think, what's the point? Whereas in this, if a zombie horde's coming, you're kind of worried that, you know, what actually will happen to you. If you die, if you like this character, you obviously don't want to die, so you're going to try your hardest to live, I suppose. So as I was saying before, the market is becoming quite oversaturated with zombie games, and some people are kind of getting sick of it. I'm sort of on that end, sort of, depending on what kind of games are coming out. If we see more games coming out exactly like DayZ, I'm not really going to be looking forward to those, as I've said. I'd like some more games, even if they were like an MMO concept, but more about, you know, working together as opposed to, you know, just saying shooting anyone you see, because those games I found weren't really about survival in itself. It was just about trying to kill other people, and zombies were there. Whereas this game's more about, you know, trying to survive these zombies and trying to, you know, get supplies and do that kind of stuff and not die. In this game, you're actually able to be stealthy as well. I think if you hold down B, you would go into this crouch sort of mode where you can sneak around zombies as well as sneak up on them and insta-kill them. So I think that's kind of cool to have an approach like that with a zombie game, because, as I said before, people just, you know, give you a gun, you shoot at zombies, that's it. Whereas this game's more about, you can go this stealthy route if you want to, or you could just hop in a car and just start mowing down zombies. It's completely up to you, and it sort of impacts, you know, how well you're going to survive as well, because if you go stealthy, it might take a little bit longer to do things, but you're less likely to get hit or attacked or die. And if you do go, you know, really fast in with a car or whatever, you can still survive and be all fine, but there's probably more chance for you to take damage as well as die in that scenario. There are some aspects of State of Decay on Early Access that are a bit iffy. For example, the graphics don't look the best, but I mean, when you go to play a game like this, you don't really care about graphics, as well as the frame rate seems to drop every now and then, but you don't tend to notice it that much because you are being stealthy and slow. It's not really about, you know, seeing how fast zombies run it. You don't really notice it. And I mean, I do play most of my games on PC, so I do know what games look like on high FPS, but you don't really notice it that much in this when the frames are low. Anyway, I've been having some good fun with the game, and I would recommend this to anyone who's, you know, looked at gameplay videos and seen and thinks it's the kind of game that would be for them. Obviously, buy it. It's quite fun. Anyway, this brings me out of my commentary. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a like, and if you've got any comments about State of Decay or anything like that, put it down below. And if you want to join the Gamerhood, just subscribe. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time.